Welcome to another episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. It's Jarratt, it's Madelyn, it's Art. Some of us have had a restful night of sleep. Others were forced to be at the track until 1 o'clock in the morning. Um, More on that later. Let's see here, friends. Nashville, rain, thunder, lightning, concrete racing. Shall we go through the weekend's festivities? Is there anything we need? Nothing else happened last week, right? No news, no shock, no awe.
Corey Heim?
Oh yeah, it is Heim time officially in 2027. Corey Heim gets signed to I guess the 35.
Boo.
Not to rumor or speculate, but it seems as if Riley Herbst is going to take his talent to the third charter over at Legacy, according to the interwebs. Um, is this a win for 2311? Do we think that Corey Heim is the generational talent that Denny so handsomely handed him in the press conference of his announcement?
Go ahead, Madeline. I'll let you go first. I have a
I
very
mean,
strong opinion, but you go first.
my strong opinion is that obviously I think he's going to do perfectly fine in the car. I don't know. I don't know if I'm like well versed enough to be able to claim. Like, who am I to tell Denny Hamlin if someone's not a generational talent in NASCAR? I don't know if I can say whether he is or not. I think he's going to do great in the 35, probably better than the current 35 does, just based off of what we've seen from him so far. And I think it'll be cool to see him full time next year. Now, Art
I'll
can
save
give
you
his
for
very strong
last.
opinion.
I'll save Art
I,
for last because I feel like he's about to go left. I feel like this is it's a good signing. It's a good move. Generational talent is kind of crazy. Like Corey Haim's good, but damn, can the boy get some extra races in the next gen before we start putting all crazy labels on him? Um, it kind of does suck for Riley. I feel like he was starting to come into his own this season, and I feel like if I had it my way, I'd keep them both and just go 4 cars. Um, and I really, hopefully, they change their mind and the 67 is the number that Corey runs because 35 is kind of gross next to 23 and 45. It doesn't match. It doesn't fit. I feel like, and Corey's always ran the 67, so I feel like he sort of earned that to be his number. But like I said, I wish we could keep them both, but unfortunately, the business is a business. Hopefully, that means that Corey got a bag. Hopefully, somebody somewhere is going to be putting up the money because I wouldn't want to see another, Air Jordan scheme car just to get him in the car. Hopefully, he's found somebody to get him some money. JBL, Safe Light, the fishing people he was posing with, going to Alaska to hunt the bear, whatever they're doing with what they
wait,
announced.
what?
Somebody, yeah, some field and fish thing that he posed on when he announced that
Who?
he got his contract. They're going 2311 is going to go hunt bear in Alaska or go big game fishing, one of the two, as a part
Those
of
are
the
two very
announcement.
different things.
Something like that finna happen. That's what it said on Instagram. So hopefully he has his money.
I mean, you gotta go all the way to Alaska again? I mean, I guess a
I
check
mean,
is
hey
a
man,
check,
that's where
but
the salmon be biting up there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta see what you're on too.
that's too. Listen, bear hunting bear is too spooky for me, man. I ain't built for that. The bear ain't do
Yeah,
nothing to me. Bear ain't called me no word names.
I expect you to
Yeah,
stay in the house.
yeah. I'm excited for Corey. Yeah, I think like it makes sense in terms of higher ceiling. I think it's definitely Corey. If you have to pick one, it makes sense. I kind of agree. Like I really wish it was. I wish you could have your current and potential future drivers, have in a 4 car stable. Um, but yeah, I do think generational driver it's a bit premature to say that. As amazing as his career has been so far, and as amazing as he was in the truck series, we've seen people be really good in these lower series, and they get up to the top level, and they just can't crack anything for a long time, right? They talked about Ty being amazing for a long time, and it took him 100 some odd starts to get a win. So I think Corey's going to end up being better than Ty, but I just think it's a little bit it's just a little premature. Let's not break out the anointing oil, as Bill Parcells would say. Like, let's just save that for a little while until we can see him be here consistently. My big thing, and I got a lot of social media engagement for it, is I just wish that Denny Hamlin. I know this makes it to your desk. I just know this makes it to your desk. I need you to quit shit talking your drivers in public. Like, I just need you to stop shit talking your drivers in
Talk
public,
to him.
especially your most famous driver, bro. Like the driver that helped you open the door, fam. Like, I'm just so over this shit. And like, I know this is very petty, and maybe it's because I'm a Bubba Wallace fan. He's my favorite driver in the current garage. But like I said on Twitter, no other team owner is going out there and throwing shots and throwing shade at their drivers in the press. And all those smooth brains who try to argue against it on Twitter, the whole point is in the press. Rick Hendrick, Jack Roush, Dale Jr., whoever else you want to name as a team owner, they make a habit. Alex Bowman out there getting his brain scrambled around every other season, missing starts. They never say one bad word about him. They always say, we love Alex. He's our guy. We riding with him. And like, they have every opportunity to badmouth the guy, and they don't do it. And I just wish that's a little bit of growing and maturing that, 5 years from now, Denny probably gets and eventually figures out that being the team owner, like, your words really travel. But like, these are the people you're paying to do well. Just stop shit talking them in public, especially the one driver who faces, the full vitriol of NASCAR's fandom's racism. Like, let's just stop with the shade. But I am very happy for Corey. I think it's well deserved. I'm excited to see what he does. I really do think he could come back. I know I'm kind of talking out both sides of my mouth now, but I could see him steal a win in like his first year or two. Like, he's been fast and had some good runs in that car. So the talent is definitely there, but of course you've got to grow, and it's one thing to do some of these one-offs, inconsistent starts. It's another thing to be there for 36 races. So we'll see what he does, but it's a big turning point, I think, for the team, because there was a little bit of this idea that with Riley, like, he was there, but I think a lot of the fandom kind of got the feeling he was just there because he had a check, right? But now it's like you have three guys that you feel confident could win on any given Sunday. So I think this is definitely going to level them up as 2311 as a team. But, as always, we have to just wait and see, right? Like, you never know how a guy's going to be. You can't make any of these assumptions. We've seen the next Jeff Gordon 20 times over in the last 20 years. So it'll be interesting to see what he does once he's here full time.
Yeah, those are all fair statements. And I forgot for a second that Denny showed his ass in the press conference talking about drivers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, like they don't have names on the paychecks that you signed to them. Thank you for reminding me of that, Art. But it's gross, personally. We'll get to more of that here in a second, but shock. I mean, not really. It is kind of crazy that they were all out at the bar like the night before, like in front of Chiefs, like taking pictures and posing like everybody's there. And all of a sudden there's a press conference called. Riley's like, hey, dog, you got to get out the car. That's nasty work.
It's a cold world, bro.
That's nasty work. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, boy. We'll move on to the race weekend. It seems that Ford, since they don't have any drivers to sponsor in O'Reilly's, they invested some money into the truck program, and that Lane Riggs truck was cheated up for the night. And he came from literally, ironically, like nowhere. It seemed to me on my television screen, he came out of little nowhere and won this race. Crazy stat. So his fastest lap was a 29.79. Raja finished second, and his fastest lap was 30.36. Somebody is cheating. But he passed inspection, so I guess he's all good. But Lane Riggs wins the truck race. I think that's his third win of the season. It is his third win of the season, placing him the points lead over Mr. Honeycutt. What did y'all think of the truck race? Madelyn, you were there. You're going first all evening. Sorry, I apologize in advance. Any highlights or no, wait, you left the truck race.
Oh, see there, now you done gassed it up. And
I remember she left.
I cannot remember what caution. flew where I was standing in pit lane, and I was like, I gotta go home.
Fuck that shit, I'm out.
I was like, I mean, Lane Riggs was leading when I left, got to my car, was driving, and the next thing I knew, it was like actually like, and he was leading by a lot. Like, I want to say when I left, it was like a pretty substantial, like, this is not gonna change. It's Lane Riggs is gonna win. Then halfway through my drive, Raja and him were fighting for the lead. Raja took the lead, and I was like, oh, so I just missed the entire like interesting part of the truck race while trying to keep up with it on the radio while driving home in the dark. But I mean, it was a good, like, it was entertaining. Like, it's not like it wasn't entertaining. I think it was a good race. Happy for Lane Riggs. Really bummed for Raja because he was so strong in that race, and I really do think he could have won it. But we got a Lane Riggs win, so here we are.
Here we are. All right, what'd you feel about the truck race?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Lane's kind of the man of the hour right now, right? Because this is back-to-back wins for him, right? He won at Charlotte, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes, he did. He did. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I'm saying he did.
Yes. No, he
so
did.
yeah,
You're right. He went back to back. Confirmed.
That's a pretty solid way to get some momentum going into the summer stretch. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mince words. My hopes and dreams were living and dying on Raj winning. I did not watch this race live. I had it queued up to watch the next day because that motherfucker started at like 11:30. I said, I ain't built for this, fam. I gotta go. I can't start the race that late. I ain't got it in me anymore. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, it's tough. I feel like Raj especially has been kind of pressing a lot this season with his job insecurity and changing teams. So I think it only helps his stock, the fact that he ran so well here in a truck that he does not run in every week. I just wish he could have closed it, right? Like those wins just give you so much more cachet, even over a second place finish. Like that can really get you in some rooms, I imagine, get some money in your pocket from a sponsor if you can show them some winning race pictures. But yeah, I mean, he lost to a guy who raced him pretty cleanly and clearly had the better truck by a lot.
Doors off his ass when he passed him. It's crazy.
I mean, buddy was fishtailing it coming out of 4 down the front stretch, just showing off. So, like, if you're going to lose, and I shouldn't even say lose, if you're going to finish second, that's a pretty good circumstance to have it happen, right? Like, you can't have anything for them when the truck difference is that higher, and they raced you cleanly. They didn't dump you. So, I mean, it's fine. Truck races solid. Like, it's wasn't as chaotic, I guess, as like I'm used to in the truck race. Like, O'Reilly was kind of the same way. Like, it's been a bit cleaner lately, which is nice. But yeah, no, kudos to Lane. I think he and Allgaier have really kind of separated, and I guess Reddick, you could say, for all the 3 series have really kind of separated themselves in my mind as the favorites going into the various chases for the playoffs. So a good win for him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was cool staying up late. I stayed up late waiting for a Roger win, and then as for mentioned, a 0.6 of a second faster lap time just blew that all out the window. So that was fun. I mean, Nashville puts on a good product, I feel like. I'll have more to touch on that here in a second because people were going crazy in our mentions yesterday. Yeah, the truck race was a good start. I think the only thing from this weekend that put a damper on it for me is just the weather just pushing it back. Like, obviously we like outside sports, and we got to do sometimes, but I just feel like had the weekend's races started on time, like they were all scheduled to, I would have walked away happier. But I'm walking away sleep deprived. So there's that. Speaking of sleep deprivation, Justin Allgaier just kind of can't be beat on the concrete. He wins the fairly exciting O'Reilly race. Shout out to Raj in the bucket, trying to do bucket things. He was the top finishing JR car. And I'm really tired of that being an accolade that comes out of the phrases of our mouths in the group chat, but it's not enough. I'm really tired of that 32 car. I'm really tired of him not being from a race capable winning vehicle one night to, uh, a boxcar derby, car the next night. It's shameful. But Justin Allgaier wins again. Is he the man to beat for the championship in O'Reilly's? Madeline said yes.
No.
She said he's got it wrapped up.
I think Justin Allgaier is probably by far, with Connor not in O'Reilly anymore, it does kind of feel like Justin Allgaier and Cup Series drivers that come down are kind of just like that dominant. This is who's going to win the race. It's going to be, I think I had said Kyle Larson on Twitter just because my expectations are just always like Kyle Larson's going to go down there and I'm going to have to see a Kyle Larson O'Reilly win. But like, I will say seeing Justin Allgaier win is always kind of a fun win for me, especially if there's Cup Series guys in there. Like, I love seeing Justin Allgaier beat Kyle Larson. I think there is so much joy to be had seeing like a man who has like dedicated his career to the O'Reilly series, just like given how some of the Cup drivers approach going down there and their thoughts on why they go down there and why they should go down there, seeing a guy like Justin Allgaier beat them does bring some joy to my heart. But obviously he's going to win the championship this year. I don't think there is someone that is like, there's not someone else in my head that I'm like, yeah, they're going to beat Justin Allgaier for the championship.
I don't know though. I feel like, I do agree. I think it's Allgaier's world, and everyone else is just living in it. This has been kind of a dream series of weeks, and going back to last year, or 2 years ago, even for him. But I don't know with the points reset. If Jesse Love, he might be a sneaky threat. I feel like if he could get hot. If he's able to crack off maybe 2 wins in the playoffs, I know that's asking for a lot, but he's been running very well. It's just that Allgaier is running as the best in the field, right? He's the only guy he can't beat in terms of a full-time regular. But I feel like he could be a sneaky threat to be in the hunt late in the season. Like I said, with the points reset too, like you can only get so far out ahead before the gap gets closed. So I can see that. But honestly, out of those two, I don't think anybody else has anything for him. I mean, unless Allgaier breaks his ankle or something, like as long as he makes all the starts, I feel like he's going to be the favorite to get it.
I share that sentiment. It's there's really nobody else that's holding the candle to him right now. I mean, 4 wins already, and they're practically halfway through their season. Looking at the schedule as it is over there down there in O'Reilly's, ain't nobody got no heat for him except for his teammate. That's not even his teammate because he doesn't race on the JRM team. And I hate how fast he is too. But 179 point lead over Jesse Love is nothing to sneeze at. With this new points format, he should damn near just coast if he doesn't have a breakdown the second half of the year. This is definitely Allgaier's championship to lose. So excited to see what happens next. I don't think they're going to. Oh no, they're off again for half a month. They don't go to Michigan. They don't race again until Pocono. How trifling is this schedule? Lord have mercy, they get 2 weeks off. Oh shit. I'll always have gripes and grievances with the lower series schedules. That's never going to change.
Consistent.
I guess we'll move to this morning's shenanigans. Denny Hamlin blew the starting line. Was halfway to turn 1 before the rest of the field got to the restart box, and had to go park himself in the back between tires, pitch strategy, and knick-knack caution flags. Denny goes from first to last to first and wins a guitar last night in the Cracker Barrel 400. Madeline, what were your thoughts on the Cup race?
I mean, I think overall it was probably my favorite race of the weekend, even if it was not the ending that I thought that it was going to be at a certain point during the race. I think it was like it was a good race. I think we're continuing to see that Toyota is just like by and large the best manufacturer out there, and that if we're going to get a win, the chances that it's a Toyota are just like astronomically higher. Um, I got real tired of those cautions towards the end. Bless his heart, Connor Zilic, it's not your fault. The rotor was not your fault. Ross Chastain, the rotor was not your fault. At a certain point, it was like every time we restarted, a caution was being thrown. Like, I felt like it was getting a little bit crazy. It was fun to watch. Like, it's fun to watch to an extent, but to the point where, like, Denny got a drive-through penalty, had to start from the rear, and made his way back up to first and won. That's how many that's just how much strategy just kind of went out the window because like we had so many cautions, everything got so hectic. I would like to formally apologize to Tyler Reddick, who I blamed for the after checkered flag wreck at the end when it was completely and utterly Ryan Blaney's.
Clip that.
It was just it was just how it was not purposeful. It was not
This isn't making the clip.
It was not anything egregious, but I would like to formally apologize to Tyler Reddick, who I was over it. I also think we need to shout out Shane Van Gisbergen because
absolutely
he ended up fifth.
Yes,
literally in media earlier in the weekend when he was asked about ovals and how he's feeling about it, the first thing he said was he didn't feel confident at tracks like this, like concrete tracks, like specifically were ones he struggled with. To be the only Trackhouse car to finish the race and to finish fifth place, I truly believe he is going to win an oval in like the near future. Like I don't see a reality where he never wins an oval.
Thank you for coming on here and sharing that sentiment. I said that last year during the report card episode. Everybody said I was fucking crazy, but no, I agree.
That was one of the coolest parts, was getting to see like seeing him like actually do well on an oval and not just be riding in the back, and then getting to hear like, because I think the drivers who have come up in the NASCAR series tend to be a little bit more like, they aren't going to say things the same way he does. So hearing how he feels about things too is just a little bit refreshing, because I think he's just genuinely so honest about like how the car drives, what it feels like to drive in the back of the pack in an oval. So like now that he actually knows what it's like to drive at the front, is like, I don't know. I can't wait to see him win an oval.
He's like, yeah, I like this. I wanna repeat this feeling. Let's keep this going. I mean, I guess I'll go. All right, you can go last. I also have an apology to give. I apologize to Chris Buescher. When Bubba got wrecked last night, I tweeted, fuck the 17 and everybody who love him, and I put my phone down and went to sleep. I thankfully my phone's a do not disturb. I woke up with some angriness in my mentions, so apologize, Harris Lou, big dog. You know what I'm saying? I saw I was wrong, baby. I was wrong, and it's Tozavar's fault. He tried to ride the Dente a little too hard and took out half the field. So I apologize, guys. But I mean, it was a good race. I just feel like, there's some races where I love the long green flag runs and I love the pit strategy, but I felt like last night was a little too wrecky. And I don't know what it was, whether it's the low, what was it? The low drag, high horsepower, or people just being impatient because they waited around an hour longer for the race to start or whatever it was. But it felt kind of sloppy last night. And that's unbecoming, I feel like, of this being the Cup Series race. A lot of good cars got taken out off of malfeasance. And, I don't know. So when Bubba got wrecked, I went to sleep. And I'm glad that I didn't stay up for Denny Hamlin win. In case you weren't paying attention or you didn't see it on socials, Denny and Tyler had a bet to see who was going to finish better. And if Denny won, then somebody from Tyler Reddick's road crew is going to have to wear like a large shirt. Apparently, he's a big man. He's going to put him in a small shirt and make him take a picture or something. And he has to record 5 minutes of Actions Detrimental. So we'll see if that comes out, if that actually came to. And I'm like, what kind of world does a team owner glaze the driver that's going to drive next year and then bet another driver, like, I bet you can't beat me? Like, what the fuck is Bubba? Like, chopped liver? Like, what the fuck we got going on, bro? I was like, what's with you this weekend? I guess he was feeling himself because he was in Nashville, but, you know, Denny was on one this weekend. But it was cool that JGR got their first 1-2-3 finish since sometime, somewhere, a long time ago. I think it's been since like 22 in the 500 or something like that, where they finished 1-2-3. That's cool for them. Chase Briscoe was pissed off. Christopher Bell should be the mad one because he had a run on both of them and he botched it up per usual. But it was a lot of wrecks last night. The race could have ended earlier if people just drove with level heads. I'm just interested to see how the garage races hosts are going forward, because I feel like after that wreck last night, there's a lot of drivers that know that you drive over your head. Obviously, we remember Bubba from Martinsville retaliating and subsequently wrecking himself, trying to give Carson a taste of his own medicine. But I'm just interested to see, okay, you've pissed off Alex Bowman, you've pissed off Chris Buescher. Apparently, Austin Dillon was a terrorist last night, wrecking Brad Keselowski and seemingly getting away with it after the replay angles that I saw. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of malfeasance this weekend at Michigan. It's not a real safe track to get any glick back because they go kind of fast there. But I'm just interested to see how the drivers react to each other after a messy weekend in Nashville. What do you think, Art?
I just love all these on the record apologies and confessions that we're getting tonight. Y'all really, y'all took this as the confessional episode. I need the little screen so I can stand on my side and hear all of the things that y'all need to confess to get off your chest. That's what we need. I have nothing to confess because I didn't say anything wrong, so I'm fine with myself.
Okay, I never said anything about Tyler Reddick in public. This was me owning up to my thoughts and feelings that I was holding to.
Yes. Cleanse your conscience. Yes, get it all out.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I agree with the sentiment about the wrecks. I think part of the reason why we in general as a group are a bit anti the wrecks this week especially was just because it was a Sunday night race that started late, right? If that race started at 6:00 and we had the same wrecks and we finished at 11, I feel like we're probably they're a little bit more palatable, right? I do agree with you. Like I like the long green flag runs, but I do also really like, and just get into my thoughts on the race itself. Like this race had a lot of that old school feel to it where you had a lot of mechanical issues. You had a lot of wrecks. You had different strategies down the stretch. Now, of course, there ended up being a late caution and they kind of turned to a bit of a wash, but still, like, you had, all of these different factors, and there's a little bit of this, like, holding your breath, right? Where you're just like, okay, like, this shit could blow up at any time. like this right front could blow at any time. Especially if you're a Chevy driver. My Lord, they stole the airspeed notes from New Hampshire and from St. Louis, Jarratt, for those brake packages. But yeah, I like that though. I do hate just how like long the race got extended though. But yeah, to Madelyn's point, I think the one thing that really stood out to me was just how badly Toyota is whooping the field right now. Like, I don't know if it's under the hood. I don't know if it's aero. I don't know what it is, but they would just come off the corner and just pull away on the Chevys. And there's no Fords to be seen or to be heard from. Blaney's, trying like hell, and he's like the back half of the top 10 at best, maybe. I'm sure he didn't lead a lap or anything. And if he did, it was on a pit cycle, maybe.
He did lead a lap. Thank you very much. He did lead at least a couple laps. Thank you very much.
Probably because he was running along. But anyway, that's neither here nor
there. It was after pit cycles. His pit crew did not mess up this week. Another
All
apology to the 12 pit crew for things I have
right.
thought about them in the past. There we
Oh,
go.
for
Mm,
Your
sure. For a second,
conscience.
I thought Blaney had that shit in the bag because he was like way out front. He was
yeah,
crushing
I mean, it's crazy. I don't think we're gonna get an. I mean, it's still early. Well, it's not really early in the season now. We're probably like forty
halfway.
percent through, but yeah, 40-50% through. But like, I don't know if we're gonna get a non-Blaney Ford winner at this point. Like, I don't know if anyone else is gonna make it. I mean, Busher is talented enough to do it, but like, they don't seem like they have the horses under them. No pun intended.
I
To
mean,
get it done.
statistically, they're the best Ford team this season.
Who?
Statistically, RFK.
I mean,
They
yeah,
putting.
but okay,
They're
yes,
not
that's
putting
because
belt.
the
They're not putting belt to ass, but
but you know
statistically,
the
that's
only
the
reason for
top
that
four
is because
team.
the 12 crew steps on their you know what every time they come down pit road. That's the only reason for that
And
though.
Joey Logano is Michigan action.
I think both Joey and Austin are now, or they were at one point during the race yesterday with where they were running, were like below the points needed to get into
Yeah, below the cut. At one
playoffs.
point, Joey was in the 30s on speed. Like he was
Yeah,
in the
trenches.
first stage. There was one point he was like 33rd or 30th on speed, and he's been there a few times this year. That's not a one off for them, which I'm all for personally. I'm fine if he struggles the rest of his career because that's what he deserves. Um, But anyway, I liked a lot of the race. I think yeah, the only negative I really have is on a personal note the actions of one Carson Hocevar. But you know, looking at it big picture, it's just the weather delay and like you can't help that. You know, I don't blame anyone necessarily for that. I still want to have more night races. Um, I still like having primetime sports on a Sunday night. A lot of these people that are complaining about it, like maybe you only watch racing, but like Sunday night football can go to 11:30 like regularly. That's not a shock, you know, if a game goes long or something happens. Like it's okay. Like it happens. Like yeah, you don't want every race to consistently go to midnight, but like if it happens, you know, twice a year, like there's 36 races, guys. Like chill out. You know, like
And
you can get
also
over
just
it.
with how hot it was, a day race would have been like would have been
Yeah.
like it was disgust. It got cold like halfway through the race, but it was disgustingly hot. And like, given where half our races are in the southeast, and we race through the summer, you have to have races where you're gonna be up late. Like you can't race in May, June in Nashville in the middle of the day. Like it just can't happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they did that like twice, and they were like, "Oh no, people are dying in the stands. Like people are passing out from the heat. We can't do this anymore." And Nashville doesn't. I don't think they allow coolers, right? Like they have like some kind of crazy bag policy. Like you can't bring water in or something. So like, yeah, no. Keep having evening night races there. Like it makes a lot of sense. Texas is another one where like you could have a night race. Like we don't need the folks. Atlanta, that's another one. Like we don't need the folks falling out. Like make them night races. But yeah, like I like a lot of this race. I do. I didn't love any of the three at the front at the end. I'm not gonna lie. So I was kind of like, what type of poison do you want to root for to take? But so I was not really thrilled with Denny winning. But whatever, it is what it is. But I like the race overall. You know, like it was good. I like I said the fact that they had that sense of danger and like that's kind of the I've used the analogy on here before of like the bomb ticking bomb under the table. Like you don't know how much time's left on it. Like and it could be your time at any moment to like blow up and your day is over. And unfortunately, you know, like for Connor, like his was early, but like that's kind of the risk you run at trying to be fast. And like to Trackhouse's credit, like they were very fast. Like all three of their cars were really fast. And Ross and Connor were moving forward all throughout the race until they had their accidents. And like we mentioned with Shane, like top five, led laps, like on pace, you know, was not a fluke. Like he drove up there and stayed and looked like he belonged, which is amazing. I can't wait for that first oval win for him. But yeah, that's kind of like the risk you run, right? Like if you're pushing it too far, trying to find speed, you go too far in that direction, and then you're pounding the outside wall. So I like that race a lot off of those factors. Like this is a race I would go back and watch without having to stay up till 12:30. You know, like I could watch on my own time and maybe fast forward through the cautions. This is one I would go back and watch.
Yeah, it's I feel like what Trackhouse is going through is similar to like last year, a couple years ago with 2311, when they don't when they choose the wrong brake package to bring. Because there's a balance of safety and speed. And I think this is, I guess, kudos to NASCAR for running the high horsepower package of this track. Because there was another, another unknown about like what the brake temperatures are going to do, and how like how big of rotor size and how big of the caliper that you bring, how that's going to affect the longevity of the race. I feel like if anything, what made it worse is probably all the cautions that we got because there were so many heat cycles in the brakes that probably hurt more than it helped. But um, I feel like they'll figure it out. They'll take some notes and be better prepared for um, whenever the next time they run this. I guess when they go to San Diego, when they go to the Air Force Base. That's a road course. That doesn't really count, but that's the next time they'll run this the 750. Um, I brought up a good point about the Sunday night thing. That's something we tweeted from the pod account, and apparently got a lot of people riled up. I wasn't expecting that, but according to uh, Twitter, um, wherever that track is, there is an ordinance where you can only have like a clear backpack. You can't bring a cooler or anything like that. And I remember a couple years ago, I think Kiana went to that race or somebody was telling me how like it was literally like 100 degrees. They don't let you bring any drinks. It was an hour wait for concessions, and you're basically gonna die if you're just there with no beverages. So like I'm thankful that NASCAR moved the race back to the evening time to allow for the heat to dissipate, to give people a more fighting chance to enjoy the sport that they love and not risk dying of heat exhaustion. um but it's just something that it's kind of tough. Like, yeah, we got this race, but we ain't got no water. Like, if they move the track, if they ever get the fairgrounds race, will they be able to have right at the fairgrounds, or is it going to be the same thing, just a different
I
venue?
think it's in the county. I want to say it's a county ordinance, so in theory it'd be the same, but I
No,
don't
it's a
know.
different county.
Oh, is it? Well, see, I don't
Nashville
live there.
Super Speedway is, I want to say, either Rutherford or Wilson
It's
County.
it's in
And
Lebanon.
yeah, and Fairgrounds is like in Davidson County. Like it's like you can see downtown
Oh
from the
yes, that's the track I
fairgrounds.
passed when I was in Nashville. The fairgrounds joint. Yeah, it's just to Madeline's point, NASCAR was created and made in the South, and you think about, these Southern races. It's like, damn, what you mean? I got to sit out here for 300 laps, and I got to risk passing
You
out.
know, though, if you go back, you look at a lot of these old races, they used to have covers over the grandstands. They would
Uh,
have like giant poles. Now, yes, the grandstands were a quarter the size they are now, but they would have giant poles and tarps, and they would be coverage on the front stretch. You would be in shade. Like they had it figured out.
that's
Now,
when that's when they sold out the tracks, brother. You gotta They don't do that no more.
I am just saying, but the sport was built in the South. I agree, but I'm just saying, like the concept of having a shaded front stretch is not unheard of. There's
Hmm.
precedence for it.
Yes.
I mean, I do think yeah, like anyone who's complaining about the start time, like go stand outside in one place for 90 minutes in the summer afternoon, and then come back out and do it again at night, and like tell me there's not a difference. Like you can feel that sun just like baking into your skin even after the sun is set. So like yeah, no, like I think a lot of that chirping comes from the people that are used to the 36 race schedule. Dale, every race started at noon. There were no road courses. It was always on CBS. Like those people who like don't like any change. Like y'all gotta let that go. We
I
gotta do
mean,
better than
shit.
that.
Even at Richmond, all that high and kiki, and we doing pre-race have us ready to pass out before we take our seats. It'd be hot out there too. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Y'all got to get a grip, man. Fight the proper battles, bro. Like I'm sitting here having a conversation about this dude's like, well, I don't watch baseball, so why are you bringing this up? Oh, we talking about Sunday night sporting events. Like
Right.
you don't pay attention to the TV guide on your direct TV to see what other sporting events are on when yours are on, bro. What's wrong with them? Anywho, um, I just feel like the only thing that I wanted to bring up with it, two things. First things first, I guess on a brighter note, it seems as if Jimmy Johnson has been recruiting. After securing some funds from Darius Rucker, there's several other musical artists and celebrities that seem to be crowdsourcing to join the ownership group of Legacy Motor Group, hopefully to pay for Riley. So that's good news. Um, he's gonna have some help. Found that
I
out.
thought Riley came from money. I thought he could afford the check.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully, hopefully they paid him back for his little investment in the 2311. Hopefully, he got that investment back so he can save it and have somebody else pay his way this go around. Personally, that's what I'd like to see. But
It's still. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, this is off topic a little bit. It's still going back to Riley. But I was thinking about how like I know the teams made over like a bandit with the whole lawsuit in the offseason, but I'm surprised they didn't get that whole you can only have 3 charters unless you're grandfathered in clause thrown out. Like I'm so surprised that made it in the cut. Like because if I'm one of these, if I'm RFK or 2311, like I'm kind of heated that like I will never have the opportunity to have a fourth car. Like that's a lot of potential resources you could have at your disposal that you just never get a chance at. And like with this, like I'm sure if they could have all 4 cars somehow be chartered, they would definitely keep Riley because by all accounts they seem to like him, right? Like that's based on everything I've seen and heard. And I'm not in the building, of course, but it's just kind of crazy like that made the cut. But anyway, I'm sorry. I know it's off topic, but
No, you good. You good. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And the second thing too, I guess, and we'll get close to wrapping this thing up. Um, you can see the pain in Bubba having that conversation at the care center with Alex Bowman. You could, that brother had some thoughts and some feelings going through his head when he gave his interview at the presser. And I don't mean to laugh because it's not funny, but you could just see like the disgust, like the pure hatred on his face that yet again he has a decent car and he's trying to work on it, and then wham, he gets taken out. Um, from the highs of highs to the oh damn, is he gonna make the chase this year? I'm not trying to have that conversation at the start process, but it's a new month. It's June 1st. Hopefully June is better to him. Art already put the video out for the prayer circle. Hopefully he has better luck. I like to see Ryan have some better luck. I want Michael McDowell to go back in the hole where he came from. I would much rather let Carson win 2 more times than to ever have Michael McDowell complete
facts.
the Spire trifecta of wins over my dead body. No, 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 no. But it's just I hope that some the seasons turn around. In case you missed it, speaking of Alex Bowman, he got a new paint scheme on his car. It's giving vibes of the Crown Royal Matt Kenseth car, which is kind of cool. So hopefully a change of look helps continue his improved pace. Since he's come back from Vertigo, I feel like he's been driving a little bit better, much better than his teammate Kyle Larson, by the way. I just hope that his performance improves.
I
That's
don't.
all I got to say about that.
I don't. I wish everyone's downfall but the 23 at this point. Well, look,
I
I take that
mean,
back. 23, 12, 88, 97,
you know,
45.
there's some
If you
people
ain't
that I want to have some success. No, at this point, I want Riley to win. I don't want Tyler to win anymore. Let Riley get one. Let Riley steal a race. So he can just show everybody else that look, I can do it too. It's not just me.
I feel like if he comes out in, I mean, this is a bold take, but I feel like if he came out and like they announced he was signed to Legacy or somewhere in like the next couple weeks, and like he could just drive free, like this is as consequence free as you can drive, right?
Well,
You
yeah.
got a contract lined up for the next year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, crazier things have happened. I feel like
Hey,
I don't know if there's precedent for that, but I feel like that's happened
I
before,
don't think
where like a
so. We
guy's
should do
like,
that.
"Hey,
Let's speak that
like,
into existence.
well, no, because if I get to speak something into existence, I'm speaking into existence 3 bubble wins. That's if I listen.
We did that
If I got,
already. Look where it's gotten us. Angry.
listen, if I can get cracks at at speaking something into existence, then I gotta use them right, fam. I ain't got enough bites of the apple to be able to waste him on Riley. He'd be all right. All right.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's that. Anybody else have anything else for the greater good of the show this evening? Questions, comments, concerns, callbacks?
You know what? I have one more positive thing to say.
Mm.
Given how much I talk about not being a Kyle Larson fan, I want to say I saw the video of Audrey, his daughter, doing the bow in honor of Kyle Busch after her dirt win. And I just want to say I think it is very like refreshing to see Kyle Larson having both his children in racing, and not that like I assume other drivers who have raised daughters aren't pushing their daughters into racing or aren't allowing their daughters to race, but I think it is very cool to see that some of our young female talent is coming from, like, we're not just getting male nepo babies anymore. As someone who has like is excited to see women in motorsports like continue to grow and thrive, I thought it was like, aside from the Kyle Busch like honoring of it all, I thought it was just really neat to see his daughter doing well and like being given the same kind of like pat on the back and like respect for her talent that her brother gets. I just don't think we see that a lot. And we don't see a lot of little girls in like those lower levels of racing right now. And that's kind of what we need if we ever want a full-time female driver who is on par with her competitors. So I just wanted to say that. I saw that earlier this week and I thought that was so cool. So Kyle Larson, you seem to be raising delightful children. I'm sorry I'm mean to you sometimes.
Shit.
He was getting it all out there.
Speaking of
We're gonna have a communion
women in
here in a minute.
motorsports, Destiny's back in the ARCA series race. ARCA's racing Friday, racing Friday at Michigan. So be on the lookout for that. Looks like they have a new partner. Super Lap Sim Racing is jumping on the car with Fox Tekka. So be sure to cheer her on in her ARCA start. With that, we bid you farewell. Tell your mammies, tell your Grammys, like, comment, subscribe, buy some merch, VLV Fourth Wall, get these t-shirts, get these soft shorts we got, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to send Madelyn back to the track. We need some gas money to do that. But other than that, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. We will see y'all after this shoot.